Tough loss for the Utah Jazz in overtime. Also, the Packers lost. Double the loss, double the pain. Let's go over it a little bit. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, before we get into this, make sure you go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd. They will match up to $100 if you use that promo code. And if you're new to Prize Picks, it's free money. Go do it. It's a lot of fun. Right now, if you're betting the over on Colin Sexton, you're winning every time. You know what? There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things I might do a video on Prize Picks and some things I've learned, things to look for to help you win the game. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. Go check it out, and it supports the channel. I would appreciate it. All right, let's talk about this Jazz team. This might not be as long a one, although famous last words, right? Man, if only the Packers kicker could kick a freaking field goal, the Packers would be going on. My gosh. Leave him in San Francisco, the bum. Absolute bum. All right, so the Jazz lose to the Houston Rockets, and there's a few things that Jazz fans are going to talk about. One of them is that Cam Whitmore had a pretty decent night shooting the three, 17 points, although he's 6 for 13 from the field. You know what? Solid night from Cam Whitmore. He's the guy a lot of Jazz fans really wanted. He's kind of been, at this season, just been like a catch and shoot three-point shooter. And you know what? He's played pretty well in what I've seen. I haven't watched a lot of him this year. Amen Thompson made the play of the night with that blocked shot on Colin Sexton at the end of the game. He had 8 rebounds, 4 of them, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and just a massive blocked shot. 2 blocked shots. He's awesome. I mean, the thing with the Thompson twins is just the shooting. If they can figure out the shooting, then there is, no limit to what they can become. But it does require the shooting to kind of come around. So we'll see if they ever really figure it out. My guess is they will become pretty good shooters, and then all of a sudden they become quite the players. The player everyone really likes, at least in the blogosphere, is Alperen Şengün. He had a, big time stat night, 37 points, 14 rebounds. I mean, that's huge. I honestly, Walker Kessler should be a little embarrassed by this. I mean, Kessler had a pretty decent night at times, but man, to get pushed around like that is pretty embarrassing. Şengün's good, but you can score on him inside at will. And the Jazz did. That was why this game went to OT, because this guy is a absolute traffic cone. But for the Jazz to allow him to score 37 points, 14 rebounds, I mean, Kessler's got to be better. He just has to be. I mean, Şengün's a good, post player. It's what he is. He's good at that. And, for them to not be able to slow that down is pretty disappointing. Jalen Green is not good. I don't know. He's one of those guys that I've thought about. I just don't think he's very good. 3 for 12 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. I mean, honestly, anytime you can just let him do something, it's good for the Jazz. Key himself, $2. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. That OKC loss is having a domino effect. It might. I was a little worried about that as well, because you just wonder, can this Jazz team, recover from that? And you would hope so, but they certainly came into this one bad. And let's just get into it. This was pathetic first quarter and really first half, especially from the bench unit in this game. It was bad. Just terrible. I mean, the starting unit, look at these plus minuses, especially Sexton and Dunn. Dunn honestly took this game over. He was incredible. But this bench unit, they played so soft, and Keontae George got benched. I mean, he had that little inner altercation with Aaron Holiday, who, by the way, is a loser. That guy is a bum. I mean, that guy's been on every team. He's an end of the bench guy. What's disappointing is, Keontae has that little run in, and Walker Kessler just kind of watches it, just nonchalant walking. I need Kessler to be tougher. I just do, because we saw it tonight. I mean, he plays 32 minutes tonight, 10 rebounds, and I'm sure everyone will talk about the advanced metrics and all this stuff. He's got to get in the weight room and get stronger, because he got absolutely bullied in the post multiple times. Yes, he had some great block shots, and there were some moments where he was awesome. 5 block shots is great. But Alperen Şengün was his cover, and he scored 37 points in the post, right? That's just not good enough. And some of that's on John Collins, but that's one thing Kessler needs to develop is just more toughness. And he needs to get stronger. Like he needs to get in the weight room. He doesn't need more weight. He just needs more strength. Just core strength, leg strength, get some squats in, man. And stop getting bullied. Stop getting bullied. We saw this against the Lakers. It was the same kind of thing. Like this is a young Rockets team and you're getting bullied by them. Come on. That's why I appreciate so much Colin Sexton and Kris Dunn and their mentality to not get bullied like that. But man, Kessler just did. It was, he had it's like a bittersweet because he had some good moments, he had some good things. He also was 3 for, I don't know. It's just tough. I don't know exactly what to say about it other than he's got to get better. And he is young. It's only his second season, so you got to give him some time to develop. But man, there were some frustrations for me because, Şengün's a good player. He should not be dropping 37 on you. He is not that type of guy. What's that mean? You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. I just watching Şengün, I'm just not that impressed. If you have a strong inside presence, you're going to slow that guy down. He's just, and so for Kessler to just get bullied like that is just like, not my favorite, and I know he did a good job overall, but man, we needed a great job and it wasn't. Let's see. Simone Fontecchio played some good defense. He had a play at the end though where Şengün out hustled him for a rebound and it changed the game. The Jazz win the game if Simone gets that last ball, and those are the types of plays that win you games. That said, Simone had a nice night just stat wise. 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He does play great defense. He hit his goal, 2 threes, so that 3 ball is starting to look a little better. Lauri Markkanen, this game was really tight and obviously tight. They go to overtime. Markkanen went 3 for 11 from 3 tonight, and he had 3 or 4 open threes, like good open threes, and misses them, and that's the game when it's down to just points. And the refs were bad tonight, by the way. The absolute audacity they have to call the game like they do for Şengün is crazy. It's actually a joke. Like the 10 free throw that Şengün fouls on every rebound. It's bonkers. And for them to give him the whistle they did is a joke. So on a night like that, when you've got corrupt officials who have money on the game, you've got to hit your open threes. 3 for 11 from 3. Are you kidding? Come on, Markkanen. Like, he is the best player on the team, but it's games like this where he has to step up. And if you're not going to hit the 3, you got to drive and dunk it then. But 3 for 11 from 3, 27% from the Jazz's best player. Sometimes your best player just doesn't hit the shots, and that's part of why they didn't win the game. What would be the price for Kessler in a trade? That's a good question. I mean, I'm not saying they should trade Kessler. Thank you, Jake Preston. $2 is super, super generous of you. Thank you so much, Jake. I'm not saying we should trade Kessler. There's some things that I just want to see some toughness, Like, can we see some grit and some fire a little bit, I mean, I love the personality. He's a lot of fun. He's funny and all that stuff, and he's great, and I love having him on the team. Just there's times where you're just like, man, can you stop getting pushed backwards and doing that fall backwards thing into the stands? Can you hold your ground? It drives you crazy. Sometimes it's just like, come on, dude, and pay attention. Like there was one where like Kessler was in that middle part of the zone, or I don't know if it was man-to-man or what, but he's sitting right there in like that middle zone area on defense. And I think it was Fontecchio was guarding Şengün after Şengün out-hustled Fontecchio for the rebound. Şengün then just turns and goes to the basket, and Kessler's like late to the contest. And it's just like, what are you doing? There were so many plays like that tonight where it's just like, wake up. This is why you're coming off the bench, to be honest. You have to be better than that. because there are some things that are nice with Kessler with spreading the floor, but or not with spreading the floor, with the pick and roll, but he doesn't spread the floor like John Collins, you know? And so there's some frustration. I mean, not frustration, but there's some limitations there that hurt the Jazz offense, you know? So when he's on the floor, he's got to maximize on his strengths. And at times he did tonight, and at times, I mean, Şengün 37 points. It's just, man, I'm not that impressed by Şengün. Like, he's nice, he's a good player, but he's not like this dominant player, and he's a traffic cone on defense. I mean, he is terrible, terrible defensively. And so that's part of why the Jazz were able to score, is just go after Şengün. But man, if they could just get a better game from Kessler, they probably win this pretty easily. John Collins wasn't much better. 0 for 4 from 3. If he could have made literally one of these, it would have changed the game. 6 rebounds. Tough stuff. 20 minutes for John Collins, and he did get benched in the second half, which was interesting. Kessler starts the second half. I don't know if that changes anything for the future, but that was an interesting adjustment compared to before. Kind of a tough night. I mean, I have to say the Jazz don't win this game if it's not for Colin Sexton and Kris Dunn. But when you come back and you look at the numbers, it's 11 for 27. 27 shots for 28 points. That's pretty tough. 2 for 7 from 3 with 5 assists. So, all this said, and now, you've got to give a little credit because in a lot of ways, Sexton was like the main option tonight. But, this is not the normal efficiency we've been seeing this winning streak from Sexton. And it's why, honestly, I wouldn't feel too bad about this loss. Markkanen shooting 3 for 11 from 3 is kind of an anomaly. Sexton shooting 11 for 27 from the field, kind of an anomaly because we know how efficient he can be. Tough night for the Jazz. Just, they really just lose this game from missing shots. When you look at these numbers, it really is just a game where the shots weren't quite falling. I mean, some of these were blocked. Sexton missed like the last 2 or 3 shots at the end of the game, and then, Jordan Clarkson misses that last shot as well. Just brutal. So tough stuff, but this is actually probably a pretty good sign that they can do better. I mean, unless the shots just stop falling. But I think that we're going to see them just play better and probably win their next game. I don't even know who it's against. Kris Dunn was incredible in this game. And honestly, the only thing I would say is that he probably should have played more. He plays 26 minutes in this game. Sorry, guys. 7 assists, 8 rebounds, 10 points. He was phenomenal and absolutely took over this game at one point. I also love the toughness and leadership because no one else was really sticking up to this Rockets team, and I loved the little altercation with Jabari Smith and him just getting in his face. I mean, Kris Dunn is tough stuff, and I just really hope the Jazz don't trade Kris Dunn because he brings that toughness and leadership, that mentality that they need, that, young guys like Kessler, and I actually think Keyonte George has some of that toughness. I mean, there's some weird stuff. We got to talk about it going on with the bench. But Kris Dunn was awesome tonight, and you definitely just are glad he's on the Jazz because of what he brings. We've talked about Walker Kessler. He's 2 for 4. He was 3 for 6 from the free throw line. He starts the second half and plays pretty decently. We've already kind of hashed it out. He had moments tonight where he made some awesome plays, awesome rebounds, and then he had some moments where he's just getting bullied, and you're just like, man. I mean, he's 5 blocks in this one, but did he foul out? Yeah, he did actually. I didn't even realize. But 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks. He was pretty good, but he's got to get in that weight room this summer, and he's got to figure out how to get his toughness and some swag back that he had last year. Just has to. Jordan Clarkson had a nice night. I mean, I know he missed that last shot, but you look at the numbers, 12 for 25. The Jazz aren't in this game without him. 4 for 10 from 3. 25 shots for 33 points. Pretty good. 4 assists as well. The Jazz don't have an elite playmaker outside of Keyonte George, and Keyonte got pulled and just didn't play the second half. But Jordan Clarkson played great. Keyonte George, we saw the play with Aaron Holiday, and I think he's hitting a rookie wall right now pretty hard, like 100 miles an hour hitting a rookie wall. And I think this is really it. Now, there's some things going on. Kelly Olynyk was absolutely terrible tonight. I honestly, he was so bad and his effort level was so pathetic tonight. I was over it. He was doing 15 minutes of cardio tonight. There's a reason he only played 15 minutes. He was awful. And I don't know if he's seeing the trade rumors and whatnot. And maybe it's my fault because I write about him on SLC Dunk, but just terrible effort. And there is a just weird dynamic on this bench unit with Jordan Clarkson, Keontae George, and Kelly Olynyk. It's just weird. Keontae has it feels like Keontae George has been neutered. Like he just doesn't feel comfortable playing his game. And I feel like it's because Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Olynyk are on the floor, to be honest. Kelly Olynyk, the Jazz need to trade him. And I would look at trading Jordan Clarkson as well. Just, I like the guy a lot. He played really well tonight. He's not a good defensive player. And I don't feel like the ball moves quite as freely. I mean, when we had Jordan Clarkson not playing, we saw some really impressive stuff from Keontae George. And I just do think that, February 8th is trade deadline and the Jazz have to move those two. Tonight was just so obvious that Taylor Hendricks needs to get on the floor. He's just going to bring more than what Kelly Olynyk's bringing. I mean, the effort tonight, I can't tell you. He was just getting, he wasn't boxing out, he was just watching. And so he gets like 3 rebounds because they fall into his lap. But, and because he's 7 foot and he's near the basket. But man, the effort level was bad tonight. And I think the Jazz just need to get that trade done. There's rumors right now. You can go read about it at SLC Dunk. I didn't get to making a video, so I apologize. But the Knicks are interested in Jordan Clarkson. The Jazz are interested in Quentin Grimes on the Knicks, so maybe that's some sort of trade that happens. But man, I can't deal with the Kelly Olynyk. I don't know. It's just I like Kelly Olynyk. There's a lot of times I love watching him play, and he does so many nice things. Right now, it's not great, and he has an expiring contract. The Jazz are trying to move him. I think he knows that, and so that might be so. And then yeah, so we'll see. Keontae George will get better. We've got to allow Keontae George to be a rookie. It is hard to be a rookie in the NBA, especially rookie point guard, and having to figure all these things out and learn all these things on the fly, learning new offenses, being guarded by NBA athletes is hard. And he's hitting a rookie wall, and that's fine. That's what rookies do. I want Taylor Hendricks to get in because I want Taylor Hendricks to hit his rookie wall. Taylor Hendricks has had the softest landing ever because he's on the Stars and he gets to come in and just kind of have gotten 32 minutes a night all season with the Stars. And then he'll come in and play, these. I want to give these Kelly Olynyk 15 minutes to Hendricks because he can shoot the ball. And guess what? It's going to be better defense and better rebounding. Yeah, Kelly Olynyk kind of is a playmaker, but I think once we unleash Keontae George and he gets that vote of confidence finally, then I would not be surprised if he just has quite the jump after trade deadline. And that's really what it comes down to. I just think, Jordan Clarkson, it's not that he's not a good player because he is. And the Knicks are probably going to give the Jazz a first and Quentin Grimes for Jordan Clarkson. And, and the Jazz will take on Fournier and just, his contract will fall off. But you have to just kind of invest in these young guys. I think tonight was a good example. This Jazz team is good. They're not there yet. They're not yet there yet. And there's a lot of people, there's a rumor out there that Herb Jones is gettable if someone wants him. And I wouldn't mind getting that because you can always use those defensive wings like him. And I actually think that would be a mistake by the Pelicans. And so, he'd be a great counterpart to Lowry and whatnot. But oh man, guys, I'm really sorry. Not tonight's the bad night, but Keontae George has to get that vote of confidence, and a move like that could absolutely rejuvenate him. And also it would be a vote of confidence in Taylor Hendricks, and those two getting minutes would be fun to watch. And I don't think the Jazz would lose any more games than they are right now. I mean, Jordan Clarkson had a nice night tonight, but we have seen in the past where Clarkson will go on these major hot streaks, and then he'll go on these major cold spells and cost the Jazz games. And so we'll see what happens. But I just think the future is Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks, and you've got to develop them, and that's what you got to do. Ochai Agbaji had some nice defensive moments tonight. He's only getting 13 minutes, but you know what? There are times where he just shows that athleticism, and it's fun to watch. At some point, the Jazz are going to have to consolidate. They still run this 10-man rotation, and it is working, but this is now two losses in a row, really bad. Okay, let's see. I wanted to see where the Jazz stand. So now the Jazz stand at 22-22, just a half game up on the Lakers. The Utah Jazz, let's see, schedule. The next game the Jazz play, it looks like it's the Pelicans. Is that on Tuesday? Yes. Sunday. Oh, we get like 2 days off. That's kind of nice. So the Jazz play the Pelicans and the Wizards and the Hornets. It is really frustrating they win tonight because this was they should have won this game tonight, to be honest. There were so many reasons why they should have won and didn't. So it's a frustrating loss and just a bummer. I mean, you can't get these back. And so the Jazz needed it, especially if they're going to make some trades to let the young guys play. You know, they're going to struggle a little bit, and you need these wins. But anyways, the Jazz should pick up and the Pelicans are playing well right now, so that's no gimme. You know, Utah can't go into that one and play sluggish like they did in the first half in this one either. Wizards, Hornets, Nets, Knicks, Sixers. So it's a pretty tough road trip, but all of those games are winnable. Sixers, it just depends on if Embiid is playing. Embiid is just a monster. All right, guys, that's all I got tonight. I'm a little, the Packers lost, the Jazz lost. Just a bummer of a night, but still was fun. Still fun. All right, let's see. Let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I appreciate it very much. Let's see. Let's give a shout out to Dirty Jazz Car Wash channel, Just Buckets JB, Baby Elliott Madsen, Christian House Money to Haas, the Outlaw, Jesse James Nelson, all the Josh you need, just Josh in your pod, Ryan Perry the legend, Ezekiel Raisibe the man from down under, yes Jake C. Can, see ya, Alexa later, Built Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, Jordan to go best roll, TGD total game domination, Tyson Price, the price is right, Austin R. Grant editor extraordinaire, KO to Omai Abaji, Patrick Gubal the connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to support the channel, just hit join. I would appreciate it. It supports the channel and it gets you part of the super chat. You get also the emojis. I need to make some more emojis, some new ones. All right, guys, I will talk to you next time.